For more now on the government's new strategy to improve social mobility. And Nick Clegg says he wants to stop people getting on in life purely because of who they know. But just how far are we from being an equal and meritocratic society, that have things actually got worse, with today's young people finding it ever harder to make progress than the generation before them? Jane Deith has been to Milton Keynes, which was built in the 1960s as a place of opportunity for all. To find out.
This 1980s advert sold Milton Keynes as a place to achieve your dreams, where the sky was the limit. It was one of Labour's new towns, a modern utopia built along grid lines, not class lines.
Wouldn't it be nice if all cities were like Milton Keynes?
250,000 people were drawn here.
Milton Keynes was conceived as a place of freedom of choice and opportunity. The designers drew it on a blank piece of paper according to grid lines. It could hardly be more egalitarian. Nick Clegg says British society needs to be drawn along fairer lines too.
In a fair society, ability trumps privilege. That is the society, Mr. Speaker, this government wants to build.
He's promising more funding for people struggling in school. A careers service for all ages will be created next year, with businesses going into schools to raise aspirations. Companies will be asked to open up internships to people from disadvantaged backgrounds. Whitehall will make its own internship programme transparent. And there'll be a social mobility commission to monitor the government's progress. 3 generations of the Daley family. Michael Daley left school at 14 to become a travelling salesman. Son Paul says his generation is better off than his father's, but Alan isn't sure he'll make the same progress.
5 days, I think it took.
Paul Daley didn't go to university. He helps run this pub, but he's also turned a self-taught talent into an art and illustration business. He's a self-made man and calls himself comfortably off. Alan would rather work in graphic design than behind a bar, but he says it's hard to be socially mobile in a recession, and he doesn't have the kind of connections to pull strings.
When you look at your granddad and your father, do you think you'll make as much progress as they have in your life?
The opportunities are definitely less than what they were 2 generations ago. Kids leave school and the opportunities just aren't there. There just aren't any jobs. You don't see too many the CEOs of the company losing their company car, selling their house and trying to get a council flat somewhere in Milton Keynes.
When you think about the generations of your family, do you think we've reached a tipping point where perhaps your children won't do as well as you have?
That's a very worrying question. At the moment, I mean, when I bought my house, I could have got a 100% mortgage if I wanted. I think they'd be lucky to get 75% mortgage nowadays. And the price of property is such that the deposits are obviously out of many people's reach.
Richard, Morgan, Jordan and Michelle are studying business. They still think they may have to fight nepotism.
People, like I just said, in the higher sort of backgrounds, they've got like more opportunities sort of given to them. Like they get jobs through their parents sometimes because of who their parents know, and just, yeah, they're in a better position.
As long as you've got personal determination to do what you want to do, nothing should hold you back. Otherwise, you're just going to give in to conformity and think, well, my parents didn't do it, I can't do it either. You should really just think, no, I can go out and do it no matter what kind of background I come from.
Even in this new town, young people still think they'll need sharp elbows to get past the old barriers to social mobility. Jane Deith, Channel 4 News, Milton Keynes.